So this is the XAUUSD analysis for Thursday, the 19th of October. XAUUSD, also known as gold. So what have we seen happen on the 18th? So on the 18th, we did catch a bit of a bid from the 1284, and we've had actually come up to this dynamic support resistance line, the 200 period moving average outlined here in blue, and we rejected from this 200 period moving average and subsequently sold back down to the next area where we had the weekly pivot at 1279. We've also got a weekly pivot at 1276, but in around this zone, 1279 is the one I'm looking at, and we do appear to have a bit of consolidation here at the 1279 level. So if we do see a potential retest of 1279, and it does hold in terms of having bullish candles form at this level of 1279, potentially have candles closing bullish from this level, an obvious retest of 1284 would be very likely, above which we'll be looking at potentially these dynamic resistance lines now, as they're above prices, being the 250 and 400 period moving average. See how prices react in and around them. Potentially, as we have reacted to the 200 period moving average, I'll be looking for a potential reaction in and around the 200 period moving average. If we do successfully navigate the 200 period moving average, we'll be looking for prices to continue all the way up to 1296, this weekly pivot, above which we'll be looking at 1305. Now, what could potentially happen is prices could find a bit of a bid at 1279, go up to 1274, and it acts as resistance for a further continuation and a sell-off. A sell-off from 1284 could potentially see prices go all the way down to 1263. Ideally, I would not like to see prices go all the way down to 1263, especially in light of, if I just zoom out a bit, in light of the strong bid we found here on the 6th of the month from 1263. It wouldn't be great price action in terms of bullishness of gold if we were to give up all the gains that we had earlier in the month. So potentially finding support at 1280 for a continuation on a retest of 1305 would have been ideal for the longer bullish case in gold. But if we do break down all the way down to 1263, we would potentially have to look at downside targets beneath which we'd be looking at 1250, 1232 and 1214. Again, these would be longer term targets in and around the anything below 1263 would be a medium to long term target, and all the way down to 1214 I would say it's a pretty long term target. You're looking at near year end potentially for prices to go all the way down there, unless there is a fundamental catalyst to actually drive a strong bid of strong selling of gold to the downside. So let's just have a look at the higher time frames. Pretty sure the higher time frames are supportive of a bullish case for gold, even though we're currently seeing some weakness in gold. So on the high time frames on the monthly chart, we can see here we've had our low over here in January 2016. We've had a higher low posted near the end of 2016 in gold, and we were looking for a test of 1375, but the test of 1375 didn't actually come. We did have a sell-off from 1357 instead. Now, we are operating in the shadow of this bearish candle, which rejected 1357 and, in fact, closed bearish in September. So, in light of the shadow, as we are operating in the shadow, being cautiously bearish and being a position which is counter to the trend, which does appear to be a slightly bullish trend, is wouldn't be too far off the mark. In light of the bearish candle from September being slightly bearish, wouldn't be too far afield, especially yes, it wouldn't be too far afield, but overall it would be counter trend. So if we have a look at the weekly time frame, and let's just see. So on the weekly time frame, it it's I suppose the trend does look a bit better on the weekly time frame than say the monthly. So we've had a series of higher lows, and at present we do have what appears to be a I suppose some traders would call them engulfing twins or something. So we had this strong rejection of 1263, and the buying momentum came back into the market and drove price all the way up to 1305, and with a strong candle closing near its highs. But the problem we have so far this week, in light of the strong momentum last week, is the market's pretty much giving up all those gains from last week, and we do appear to be heading towards a test of last week's lows. And let's see where last week's lows are. Last week's lows are at 1275. We look poised to potentially test that level, which will invalidate the bullish candle to the upside from 1263. Hence the reason on the lower time frames I did mention 1263 might come into focus. So if we do invalidate 1263, where could we potentially see prices go? We'll definitely be looking for prices to potentially go down to the 50 period moving average, currently sitting at 1242. Beneath which we've got the 200 period moving average marked out at the level I've mentioned of 1232. It's at 1231.92, but 1232 will be the level I'll be looking at. Beneath which we do have 1214 being the next, being a major level of support for prices. So let's just have a look at the daily chart and see if there's anything of interest there. So on the daily chart, we've had 3 consecutive days of bearish price action, strong candles as well, from the 1305 level. Candles pretty much closing near their lows, which are supportive of a bearish stance and a potential move all the way down to 1263. There isn't enough at the moment at present to suggest that we're going to catch a bullish bid, but in light of the candles closing near their lows, so definitely holding a bearish bias, even though it is counter to trend on the monthly and the weekly time frame, does appear to be the correct position to hold at present. So on the daily chart, areas we'll be looking at again is at 1263 level. We do have the 400 period moving average currently sitting in and around at 1262 as well, along with the horizontal support at 1263. We've got the 200 period moving average currently sitting at 1256. But we've already highlighted levels we'll be looking at. So that should wrap up the XAUUSD gold analysis for Thursday the 19th. So before I go, LCS, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching.